Is the flight edit dead? Does anybody watch flight edits anymore? Who even cares about them? Vik has some interesting perspective, and I hope that you will enjoy it. All right, let's take us into our last topic. Are you ready?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, YouTube. So first thing I want to say is that your thumbnails are the bomb. Like,
thanks.
I hate thumbnails. Like I hate thumbnails so much because it's like you've got your title, which I'm pretty good at a title. But you've got your title and your thumbnail are the only two things that can grab someone's attention. And looking through your list of videos, I was like, man, like these are some good thumbnails. Like how did you come up with? And it's not like there's like one particular style that you stick to, I don't think. But what's the thought process when you're putting a thumbnail together? How much time do you spend on a thumbnail? Or is it just something that you throw together? I mean, are you a graphic designer or?
No, not really. I mean, it's just for fun. I use IG a lot, and a lot of the pictures that I put in my thumbnails really stem from me making IG photos of quads and stuff like that, and just different ways to capture things. I would say like my workflow necessarily is I like taking pictures of my quad and then figuring out different ways to like grab the attention through a thumbnail. I don't, in terms of time, it just depends. I mean, I don't spend time. I don't think of it as spending time on a thumbnail. I think of it as spending time on a photo I want to create or an image I want to create and use on IG. And usually the ones I use on IG are the ones I use in my thumbnail. Okay. So it just plays into that a little bit. A lot of the ones that I use in my thumbnails come from IG. But more so it's just, I don't know, man. Like you just try to figure out a way to grab someone's attention, or just, or if it grabs your attention, like, hey, I really like how this is coming together, then use it. I mean, that's basically what I would say.
Do you use Photoshop or do you use something else?
I use Pixelmator, which is kind of like a Mac equivalent to Photoshop. At times I can use Photoshop. Yeah, go on.
Well, I was going to say Pixelmator is also available on like iPads and iPhones too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But yeah, that's basically, those are two of the primary ones I use. And then I don't know. Sometimes I'm bored and I'm like, let me figure out a way how artists are making images. One person, we talked about this earlier, but one person that's a really good artist is, and he's a really good FPV pilot, is, I want to get his name right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it.
Don't do what I did. Don't call Vik.
Well, I think he's in France, I want to say. And you may have seen him before.
Is it Benoit? Finky?
No.
Okay.
No. This is Florian Lead Patrol.
Okay.
Florian,
I think I've seen his stuff.
Yeah, he's a fantastic artist.
Okay.
Like, it's ridiculous. He made my logo. And he made one of these, like, he made a video for me to introduce my logo and myself. And I posted it on my account. Yeah. And yeah, he just did it because he's like, I like watching the videos, man. I want to like make something for you. And I was like, all right, cool. Like the dude is super talented. I'll send you his information, but he's super talented, and he's, I don't know, a lot of things that he draw and he creates that FPV related. It's, I mean, even the other stuff that because he draws, I think he draws like a lot of women and a lot of art outside of FPV, but he's just amazing in how he does it. Cause he used, at one point I saw a video of him using like a VR set to draw something.
Oh, wow.
A VR set. Yes. That's crazy.
Like, that is crazy.
That's nuts. And did you see, so remember, I think that this is something that might have been out there, but there's this image of the early Rotor Riot days where there's like Charpoo and everyone's stealing everyone. Yeah. And it's like kind of like a cartoon image and they're pointing to something.
Yeah.
and it's like suns, like it's I think it's a moon or something. Like they're pointing to something, and he's the one who drew that, I think.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who drew that. I think I saw that on like Tommy's page.
Okay.
At one point, I think that he's the one who drew that, but he's an amazing artist and great FPV pilot as well.
Okay. Did he win Drib's competition? I
think that was a different Florian.
Okay.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but from my understanding, I think that was a different Florian.
Okay. So, one of the things that I hear talked about a lot is that the flight video is dead. The flight edit is dead. But I went and I looked at your page. You've got almost 13,000 or maybe 13,000 subs by this point. And you're pulling a pretty consistent 1,000 to 4,000 views, maybe more, per flight edit. And I think that's unusual. Like, a lot of folks that I know put out flight edits, they get, 40, 50 views. What do you think that the flight edit is dead, or do you think that it's just going through a transformation?
I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. God, it's okay. So within FPV, the people that have been here for a while, I think a lot of people have lost somewhat of an interest in it. But again, like for instance, like let's just talk about myself.
Yeah.
4 years ago, and I'm sure that you kind of relate to this. 4 years ago, you would stay up and watch several videos in a row.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they're all different because they're all differently composed. And you didn't lose any type of like, I don't know. You watched all the way through. You didn't lose interest.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have been here in the hobby can't do that anymore. They just can't sit through something like that anymore unless there's some type of personality within the video, right? Or the video is composed differently than what they seem, or they could relate to it. And I think the relate aspect of it is what's going to get a person interested in a flight video. Is that if you could compose it in a way people could relate to it without saying one word, that's what's going to catch someone's interest. And I think that's, that just depends on the person. But if you're like, hey, I want to show my personality, like Bot Grinder, for instance, he has a fun personality.
He has so much personality, man.
Yeah. He has so much personality, and that's what people gravitate towards him, is that his carefree personality. And then, there's people like Steele that have their personality within the video as well. Yeah. But it makes it a little bit more dynamic in that sense. So I think that we're going towards that direction more than we're going towards flight videos nowadays. But even those videos could be challenging for people that have been in the hobby for a while because there's just too much at once.
It's like a flight video embedded in a vlog almost.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the standard thing that a lot of people do. And it's nothing, create what you want to create. One thing that it's funny that you mentioned this, because I had a discussion with someone that left a comment on, I think, my IG page just this morning. And the guy was like, I don't like you using 360 cameras. Because I was using the GoPro Max.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I don't like people using the GoPro Max. You guys are trying to hype it up. I'm like, one, no one's getting paid by GoPro.
Right.
Like, we're using it to create. So it's just another tool someone could use to make a video a little different. Like, so people don't get bored, and the creator doesn't get bored. So the way that I I know we're going to a different area, but
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Like, creators, let them create, and then if you like it, great. If you don't, click the next video. I think that's the approach that we should take. And so I would never say that I would stop watching a flight video, because I'm not going to say that, because there might be something they create that I could completely vibe with, or I could completely feel. So, and that's the challenge, right? Is that you make so many of these in a row where you're giving off somewhat of an ingenuine feeling. Mm-hmm. You're just creating it just to create it, mm-hmm. rather than creating something that you're feeling. So that's kind of where I would say is that flight videos aren't dead, but you have to compose rather than just make, mm-hmm. and just put it out there.
I had a great question to ask you, but I think I forgot it. Who, out of all of FPV, and all the creators, because I think it is important to remember that like what we do is creating. I think a lot of people lose sight of that. Like I asked someone recently, I was like, do you see yourself as a creator? And they were like, no. And I was like, you're putting out like 2 videos a week. How are you not a creator? And they were like, I don't know. I've just never thought of myself that way. And even these, like doing these little interviews, like there's a creation aspect to it. They're not as, unfortunately they're not as like technical from an editing perspective, right? It's just kind of chopping a few things up, but there is creation to it. I guess one of the questions I have for you, and this is more of an inside YouTube thing, is are you able to monetize, or do you even monetize?
I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I don't want to. One, I don't think I can. Right. Okay. Because I'm not a 107 licensed pilot or whatnot.
Okay, that's it. There's a good point.
Yeah. So one, I'm not because of that reason. 2, I will not, even if I had my 107, because the way that I compose things, I want to be able to use the songs I want to use, mm-hmm. and I don't want to be limited to any type of like beat or something that's disingenuine in the sense that like I can't give the feeling of what I was feeling because I'm limited, right? Right. Yeah. And there's no knock on people that use that, because hey, if you want to use that, that's great, and if you could still give off that feeling, that vibe that you're going for, that's great too. But for mm-hmm. me, it limits me. And I don't like limiting myself in that manner. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say to that. Now, in terms of monetization, if you really, even if everything went well and everything was free in terms of music licenses, mm-hmm. if you really understand the YouTube from a business aspect, you would understand that you're not going to make any type of money that you would make doing something else from YouTube, if unless your subscriber count is like 1 million, then you could kind of get there. But if you take an average salary and you understand, okay, well, if I work X amount of hours on YouTube versus X amount of more hours in my job, it just doesn't make sense to do mm-hmm. YouTube. So do YouTube for the right reasons, and that's what I would say is that for me, the right reasons are it's just a fun thing to do, just like flying is a fun thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I always tell myself, like, it's just because your subscriber count is X or whatever, that doesn't define who you are or the value you bring to the channel. So I don't feel any way about it.
So it's interesting. There's a group that I'm part of called No Small Creator. And one guy recently asked, he was like, how many, I think the question he asked was, how many subscribers do you have to get to making $1,000 a month? And, I responded back to him. I was like, it has nothing to do with the number of subscribers. It's actually based on the number of impressions that you get in the YouTube algorithm, right? So how many times is it putting it in front of people? And then for every 1,000 that you get, you might get $6 or $5. And it's I don't know, like I do this because I do monetize, I get a little bit of money off of this, but I'm definitely not a full-time YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination, but I really like talking to people, and so that's the fun part for me. The editing is actually kind of a drag, but
I honestly, I like the way, the style in which you're composing the interviews, because you put a little bit of your personality in the beginning clip, mm-hmm. and like, hey, just joking around a little bit, a little humor. So it keeps me engaged. And I've watched a few of your interviews, and it really kept me engaged throughout the interview. So there's a few times where I like, you don't have a good poker face. just to let you know.
No, I don't. You're absolutely 100% right. I have got the worst poker face. Yeah, no, I know exactly which interview you're thinking about, and the look on my face was just like, yeah, no.
I was thinking the same thing. Trust me.
If it's the interview that I'm thinking of, then I had no earthly idea that was coming. And the aftermath was brutal. So where can people find you?
They could find me on my YouTube channel or Facebook or IG.
You're big on Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few followers. I mean, it's the same. It's about the same as my YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, all that'll be linked in the description I'll get it from you later, but all that'll be linked in the descriptions below. Any final thoughts, questions, words?
But I guess the only thing I will say is that just keep flying, keep enjoying the sport. It may not be here forever, so enjoy it while you can and just have fun. Remember, it's not anything serious. Like we're just having fun. Most of us are just having fun. We're not in the business aspect of things, so yeah, enjoy it.
For sure. All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Michael Rollins Show simply because I could never come up with a better name. And this has been Vik Lanning, a.k.a. Vik FPV. Thank you for coming along for the ride. We will talk with you all soon. Bye. I think Vik is right. The flight edit is evolving. It takes more than just a flight edit, a one take, to really capture people's attention over and over again. Even though the greats may put out flight edits, they always incorporate a piece of their personality into it nowadays. And that is what the flight edit is turning into. Now, whether that's a vlog or something else, there's all kinds of interpretations to it. Now, something shocking. In the next episode, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, 5 episodes with Vik. We get bonus content with Vik Lanning himself. We talk about flying with a purpose, and what I mean here is, should you do all the flippy floppies all at once, or should you do something different? I'll let Vik tell that story for you, because quite honestly, he is a master at it. Once again, here we are. It's the time where I'm going to plug my patrons. Thank you, patrons. You guys are awesome. If you would like a podcast form of all of these episodes in one form, all on the same day at the same time that the first video drops, then there's a link to the Patreon below. You can find it there and become a patron. You can get this as a podcast. I'd also like to tell you, as I'm supposed to, because I'm trying to be a good YouTuber, that you got to like and subscribe and comment and smash the notification button. And God, that's so freaking annoying. But I'm going to try to do it a little bit more. Just get you guys in the habit. I mean, after all, you are, at this point, a trained audience. And I really just need you guys to alter your behavior just a little bit. How am I supposed to get to 100,000 subs in the next 2 months if you guys don't like, subscribe, and comment and hit the subscription button? Some things are so hard. I'll talk to you soon.